I want to hear what you might say about how you came to this moment.
Sure. Um, well, I think a good way to frame it is that I was born into peace work. As you mentioned, my parents were both ardent peace and human rights activists before even the conflict in Somalia started. And it started as a small movement. My parents were entrepreneurs and they had businesses throughout the country and always had a focus on supporting the marginalized, the forgotten, the ostracized. And at that time, before the war, that looked like them supporting children and youth that were homeless or had substance abuse problems or were orphans. And when the war broke out, they shifted their focus on young people that were being co-opted and conscripted by the warlords. And my father coined the slogan, drop the gun, pick up the pen, which you can find till this day marked up and etched into the streets and ruins of Mogadishu. And they trained and hired young people that were fighting for the warlords and gave them an alternative, dignified livelihood. And that simple idea became a lifeline for a generation that had nothing but conflict as an option. And when the war worsened, my parents had to make the decision to split up. He would remain in Somalia to continue to fight for peace, and my mother would leave with my sisters and I. And we received refuge in Kenya. And then several years later, we got asylum in Canada. And that's where I grew up. But my mother had always been a fierce custodian of my father's legacy. And she always told my sisters and I that one day she was going to go back to Somalia to see what role she could play in the peaceful transition out of conflict. And so it was an ever-present knowing that she was going to leave and go back to Somalia. And over the years, the situation just got worse and worse and worse. And she finally did it. She left in 2006 and went to Somalia to build what is now the Elman Peace Center. And what she created when she returned to Somalia was a whole ecosystem for peace and dignity. And I followed her in 2010. So this work is deeply personal. It's both my family, its legacy, its purpose. And over the years, we realized so much that building peace is inseparable from focusing on the environment in which peace can grow.